Hey, let's go ahead and get started with a reading for the collective. Let's see what Venus is bringing in now that she is direct. We've got Mercury direct. As of now, we have all planets direct. Does not mean that they're not out of their, retrograde period. They still have to go back over everything that they did and come to the zero, the point where they went into retrograde. But with that said, let's see where this is taking the collective. Let's get the most important messages for the collective with this Venus and Mercury retrograde. Venus and Mercury coming out of retrograde, direct. Okay, they were waiting. Ego, the illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. And that sounds exactly like retrograde periods, always feeling like you're running out of time. We've got King of Winter, knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded, unemotional. Get advice from someone professional and objective. Public speaking, unemotional relationships. So, if you have fear or doubt or worry, reach out and schedule a reading. Ask somebody who has a clear mind that has no skin in the game. Or, if you're having issues when it comes to like your finances, reach out to like a financial advisor. If you're having, relationship issues, reach out. There's people out there that can actually help you. And I think that this is a really good time for you to get advice on a situation that maybe you felt stuck on. A lot of the time our pride gets in the way and maybe we need to reach out to somebody. Whoa, okay. So we've got the Five of Winter. So there's something that you've been conflicted about. It's about walking away from dishonest associations, realizing that what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness, something that's not worth the effort. And I feel like that's what this person is going to tell you. Or maybe this is you walking away from this person. But a lot of you could be all up in your head about it. But I think that, listen, this could be a relationship, right? It's like with the Venus retrograde, it really went back over a lot of stuff in our relationship. Say this is romantic. And you realize like this person that you're with is just cold as ice. They're not, they're full of ego. It's always their way. They're never at fault. They're always a victim. And eventually you just got to walk away from it. It's almost like it's never going to change. And that's what Venus retrograde has been showing us is where we're at in our relationships, where it needs to change. And we cannot continue fixing something that we didn't break, or that we've constantly tried to put a lot of work into something and it's just not working out, but you stay because of your ego, for fear of failure. What will other people say? Those types of things. Same thing with a job, but this is so funny. Look, you got the three prince. You got two prince and one princess, which are the pages, right? Oh, sorry about that. So this is really awesome because the pages are the bringers of something. So the Prince of Winter talks about intellectual, determined, focused, and impulsive. So seek out an intellectual solution to your problem, the need to act quickly and decisively, sudden or unexpected changes. So that goes really well with what's going on up top. About the ego. It's like, what? I'm just going to get out of my own way. And you know what? I think sometimes we need to go back to that childlike aspect. Like kids don't sit around and go through like chaos. If somebody doesn't like them, it hurts their feelings for a minute, but then they're going to go play in dirt. You know what I mean? And I say that because we've got two prince and one princess, eventually you clean it up because you become, you learn the lesson. But in the center of the reading, we've got the Prince of Summer. And this is romantic, captivating, dramatic, and flirtatious. It's falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. And this could be just from this like new childlike perspective of like, this stuff is stupid. That's what I'm getting. It's like, this stuff is stupid. Like, why am I even focusing on this shit? You suck. You're cool. Jury's still out on you. Like, I don't need this shit in my life. Like, you know what? I have so many opportunities to do so many different things. And it's like getting excited like a little kid again. Like having that childlike wonder and being like, woohoo, yahoo! It's like, like, I don't need to fight with people. I don't need to, you know, prove my point. I don't need validation. I don't need any of this stuff. Like, fuck off. Fuck off. Like, life is too short. I want to play. I want to have fun. I want to be a kid again. Maybe for some of you, it's like you had to grow up really fucking early in life. And so you didn't know what it was like to have an imagination. You just went right into doing whatever the fuck you had to do to make it, you know? And okay, well, that's that, you know? And now it's like this ability to be like, I mean, I just see them being like, Yahoo! And then her over here going, okay, guys, it's time to settle down now and get to work. Like, no. Okay, but it says Princess of Autumn, studious, responsible, cheerful, and mischievous. Be mindful of just, you know, being too mischievous and impulsive. But honestly, if you're going to do it, that time is now. We have all planets direct now until May. Then Pluto goes retrograde, but that's more of like an outer planet. So if we take away Pluto, which, I mean, Pluto does make an active part. Do not discard him. He does a lot of shit. But until July, okay? So we can still move forward. We can still get excited. We can still start new things. And I think that with having these as the pages, this does talk about new beginnings. You know, this is about, you know, stuff that you've researched. It's like not letting any of this other stuff get in the way. It's like, you know, you have a focus, and it says happy news about your career, promotions, or scholarships, well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get going. Okay. So it's like, okay, you're on the journey. You're walking away from stupid shit that does not serve a purpose. You've got this childlike wonder, and it's like, you know, whatever it is that you're wishing for is coming true. So you got to be willing to go on the journey and just be like, yoo-hoo, yay, you know, and just do it. Children are fearless. You know, children are fearless. It's like, you know, they'll learn their lessons along the way. And I think that that's what you're being called to do, is like, listen to your heart. You know, everybody else is like trying to be logical. Maybe your dad told you don't do this, or, you know, your partner or whatever. And now you guys are divorced. You walked away from that. You're like, fuck that. Nobody needs that kind of shit in my life. You know, like, I don't need to fight with you. I don't need to argue with you. Like, I have a dream and I'm going off. You know, make sure that you're obviously not getting taken on a magic carpet ride. But I mean, at the end of the day, I do think that you're being very logical. And I think that you need to get excited for where it is that you're heading towards. There could also be something here about children, because we do have the pages here, and these are about children. Okay. And you know what? Be mindful of the teachers that are in your children's lives. For some of you, maybe you have 2 boys and a girl, or whatever. You have 3 kids. You know, you need to pay attention to your children. You could be even fighting over the children with your ex-husband. You need to walk away from that. You need to, like, again, you know, for some of you, it's like, you know, rebonding with children after this king. You know, this king could have totally gotten involved. If you have 3 kids, or it could even be 2 or 1, and this is all the aspects of this child, it doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, if you have 3 kids, I'm going to say, with this King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this person had an ego. I do feel like these kids could have found out something about that father figure, the King of Winter, and about like some lies that were told. And they choose to walk away because there is also 3 people walking. There's 2 people walking away in the distance, and this man. So they could have decided to go their separate ways. They learned something. I wonder what this is all about. Okay, so then, yeah, they found out about a lie. 7 of Winter. This is the 7 of Swords. There is a better choice. Not seeing things clearly, running away from the truth. So I think they did find out about a lie. Or they're realizing a lie was told. Let's find out what this is all about. So yeah, a few different messages. All right, what else do we have here? Wow, 2 of Winter. Indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others, feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. So maybe one of the kids is having a really tough time. They're doing it for much more of like an egoistic, like their intellect is playing too much of a part of it, and they really need to delve into their emotion and really be practical and be willing to learn the lesson from this situation. What else do we have here? Yeah, this is, oh, sorry, again. This is the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups says no more procrastinating. Your power comes from making a decision. Confusion that arises from overanalyzing the options. I think someone here wants to go with their heart, okay? For some of them, they don't want to defy the father. If this is about children, somebody here is like not wanting to defy the father. My nose just started itching. And let's see what this Five of Winter, Princess of Autumn. Ten of Summer, I think another one is going to go after their happiness. They've been like mentally conflicted about this situation. So again, if this is 3 kids, this is like what's going on in kid number 1, and you can put it where it fits. There's one of them who is very egoistic, somebody who is very, they're all up in their head. They're overthinkers, overanalyzers. That's kid number 1. Kid number 2 can be like very cold on the surface, but deep down inside, you know that this child is very loving. And these could be adult children too, very loving, possibly confused, but I think that, they're going to look at where they're most happy. And the third child has been mentally conflicted, but is now learning the lesson and understanding much more of the situation. And it says an event, emotionally fulfilling life with family or friends, raising children wisely, people you can trust. This is like fortune after difficulty. Okay. So there's going to be one who is much more, what? We've gone our separate ways. Yeah. I think that this one is learning the lesson and really at the end of the day wants the happily ever after. There's one who is still like stuck in the ego. This could also be like the Peter Pan, type. They're just going to go off. They don't care. Yes, children can be involved. But with that said, if this is about a job situation, I feel like, or any situation really, this is about you not over analyzing a situation, like going after your heart, going after what you're going to love, going after your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. For some of you, your a hope and a wish and a dream is going to come true. You're going to see dandelions and rainbows. That's what I'm getting. Dandelions, rainbows. That's how you're going to know. Bottom of the deck, King of Autumn, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and gifted. Be assertive when it comes to what you know is right. Everything going your way, a good person or company to work for. So maybe for some of you, you guys are putting this person aside. You're quitting your job. You got fired from a job. Now you have all these new opportunities, putting in resumes. For some of you, you're going to get a job interview. They're going to take a minute to, let you know. But I think for a lot of you, you're looking at your value, your worth. You're looking at your, where you're going to be stable, where you're going to be most happy. It's not where you're going to be able to learn and be challenged. Where you're not going to feel like you always have to walk on fucking eggshells to be at this job because you're having to battle other people's egos. I do see where somebody does come in and give you, like, there's going to be opportunities and you might have more than just one. It's like you hear from this one and you're researching this one and you're applying for this one, but then all of a sudden these other ones come in. You're going to know which one to take. At the end of the day, you're going to know which one to take. If this is you in a family situation, which I do see that, like, that is absolutely, I think that even if this is a mother-father situation, there's one parent who is much more grounded and compassionate and accomplished and somebody who's very charismatic and very gifted, spiritually gifted, they're just a gift, they feel like a gift when you're around them, and there's another one who is can be very unemotional, very just, because it's next to the ego, which is the devil, I feel like this person is very toxic and creates issues between you and the other. But I think at the end of the day, the King of Pentacles is the overall energy. And that king wins. That king wins, whatever that means. Like everybody goes back to this King of Autumn and they cut out the King of Winter because they realized the truth. Let me know in the comments, you guys, if you've gotten this far, please comment, even if it's an emoji. That's how YouTube is working. The algorithm now is we are based off of comments. Thank you to all of you guys who have liked, shared, subscribed, commented in the past. Continue up that work, please. It does help my channel get out there. I have been on YouTube now 5 years. And they just, because I'm out here doing what I'm doing, they're definitely squeezing me out. I mean, I've tried everything. I've even hired people and I still can't figure it out. So if anybody else knows the algorithm on YouTube and can help out, I will even donate readings if you can help me figure this out, because I don't know what else to do. Anyway, you guys, I love you all so very much. I'm looking forward to hearing all about these opportunities that are coming in for you. But at the end of the day, if this is a business or a family, or you know what, there is a light at the end of the rainbow, and you guys are about ready to retrieve it, especially because I do feel like there's a lot of karmic shit that has been closing out cycles, and the people who have been fucking off are getting exposed, and the people who have been, you know, loyal and no matter what, those people are going to finally be seen. Again, if you do have 3 kids, this is about them trickling back in slowly but surely. But, you know, some of them are still on the fence. Others are going to follow their heart because at the end of the day, they want that happily ever after. All right, you guys, love you all so much. Take care.